And this one's the whole park is inspired by Van Gogh paintings.
Really?
Yeah, so so it is
Wow.
like a mixture of the paintings of Van Gogh done in low poly, and that's why they look so appealing. And people stare at them like they don't know why they liked it, but once they tell you that it's inspired by Van Gogh, they are like, oh wow, yeah, I get it,
I
I see
see
it, you
it.
know.
I do. Wow, that's so cool. That's so
How to explain it? As I understand reality, we're all having like reality and then layers on top of it, right?
right.
So the time we are awake, we are in a layer of reality, like the main layer of reality. And once you go into, you put your headsets on, right? You go to another layer of reality, and this layer of reality is built by other people. Building some of these buildings really take time and really takes a team effort to make it. So
Cool.
the main inspiration for this one is actually the train system that is in the World of Warcraft, connecting the two main cities of the
Yeah.
Alliance. I mean, they're called Kraken, right?
Right. Hey, what's up, NFT Gospel? I'm your host, Logan the Dude. Today we are heading to the Polygonal Mind launch party. This is very cool. I'm super stoked on doing this event. And yeah, let's just jump in here right now. I already got it loaded up. Cool. All right, so I'm here. Cool. Hello, welcome. Thank you guys. We are live. Wow, it looks really good. Wow, I love the arches in here. Wow.
I hope you guys enjoy it. Uh, so with the building launch, we are going to be. Sorry, wait 1 second. That will be dope.
So Sam, this is your full job since when?
Yeah, man. This is Polygonal Minds, a 6-year-old company that is focused on. Yeah, I mean, we've been here for a long time, and we've been on Decentraland for 2 years already. No, 2 years ago we started building in Decentraland. We started joining the community and building in there, but not so focused until now. Last year we decided to just focus on blockchain and on the metaverse in general. I can say that it paid off because we managed to have the 85% of all the revenue of the company only from this ecosystem. And we also grew as a company. We started 2 years ago. We were a 3-person company, and now we are 11 people in the company. So no, everyone is in Spain. Most of the companies in Spain. Yeah, we have freelancers who are outside of Spain, but the core team is all around Spain. Specifically, most of us are in Zaragoza, but we have other people in Madrid and other people in Valencia. Maybe in the future we add more people from other places from Spain. My goal is to be able to provide jobs in this country, but we cannot. But it's difficult because we need so specific skills that not everybody has them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I can tell you that none of our business clients are from Spain. Everybody's from elsewhere. so so yeah, I get it. I really get it. That it's crazy. We work with people in the US, people in Australia, people in Japan, people in South Korea, uh, France, all around the world except our own country. Yeah, they're working on it. I know they're working and improving the whole building, the whole platform as a whole, so people can do as they do on CryptoVoxels. And but it's still early. I think we're almost a year. The Decentraland released almost a year ago, and dude, 1 year ago, the Decentraland was fucked up. Everything was broken. Nothing worked, and now it's finally working at least. Yeah, we invest in Mana. We invest in Ethereum. We also have stuff in Sand, and I myself also have stuff into Terra Virtua token and many other places. I also have Bitcoin, right? But it's not like my main investment. Yesterday we've been playing Sandbox, and we were actually very surprised how smooth it works, how the battle system and the combat was working. We were looking for playing like 10 minutes, and we started to play and just stay playing like 2 hours or something. No, I bought some lands like last year, in the early beginnings of the last year, when it was like $30 every land or something. And no, I haven't bought anything, but we are building also on Sandbox. We're also making some games there. It's going to be called Dethrone. Yeah, it's going to be pretty dope, I think. Yeah, the thing is about Sandbox, they release lands once every few months. And if you miss it, you will have to buy it on the secondary market. And the secondary market is just about people flipping us and making it more expensive than it actually is. Yeah, I mean it's difficult to change tokens from one layer to another. We are now developing on Matic, and one of the things we're trying to do is that you own an avatar on Matic, and if you wanted to kind of bring it to the main layer, to the mainnet, you can do it. But you have to pay for it, right? You have to pay if you want to. It's going to cost you, but at least allow people to do it. But man, we've been trying it for a couple of days, and it's kind of a nightmare. It's quite difficult. It seems to be, and seems like the documentation is not so detailed. I'm to be honest, I'm not the guy who's writing the code, right? So I don't really know what's the issue there, but I know that my team is having a hard time with it.
Yo, thank you, Sam. This is awesome.
Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, glad you like it.
Yeah, thank you. I know
we had some problems and some issues in the last
minute. Don't worry. No worries. I'll cut all that shit out of the video. No worries.
Sorry.
No, don't worry.
Do you like it?
Yeah, hell yeah, it's really cool. I have it in nighttime mode right now, and the illumination from everything is just like wow, and the eyes following me is really, really sweet. It's creepy.
Yeah, nighttime is awesome. With night mode is really, really cool.
Yeah.
How to explain it? As I understand reality, we're all having like reality and then layers on top of it, right? So the time we are awake, we are in a layer of reality, like the main layer of reality. And once you go into, you put your headsets on, right? You go to another layer of reality. And this layer of reality is built by other people. The great thing about Decentraland is that this layer of reality is built by many people. It's a conglomerate of people coming together and building together into just one place. Of course, you can create your own place without having to buy a spot in the Decentraland. Because a lot of people have been asking about it, like, can I just create my own world and that's it? And yeah, you can do it, but it's like going to live in the middle of nowhere, right? If you can go right now and go to live in the middle of the desert, but you won't be finding anything.
Yeah,
That's why
exactly.
places like the Central kind of make sense because they take the attention of the people and gather and centralize it into one place where people can go there and meet other people because humans are super hyper social beings and they need to connect with each other, right? So
Yes.
I think places like the Decentraland or crypto voxels or places that can create a hub where people can go there will have a huge value in the future because in the future we will be able to create worlds and digital worlds very easily and everyone will be able to create their own world, but at the end of the day you can be on your own house but you want to party into in a rave, not in your own house, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
for me, I think the Decentraland and all these different metaverses and the big reality layers have a huge value because they are going to be hubs of content. So maybe this building stay here, but in the future we add like a gate to another world, which is Polygonal Mind world, which is a huge as infinite space with planets and everything, whatever, right? But
Mm.
the point of attention for entering will be in the central end, or will be in our website or anything or something similar.
Yeah, I saw the wearables you have upstairs, the VR wearable. That is so fascinating to me. So tell me about the VR wearables.
So the avatars is a project very interesting for us. It's called Crypto Avatars, and Crypto Avatars is sort of like a place to buy and sell avatars from artists. And the thing is, when I started learning 3D, what stick for me the most was creating characters, and I wanted to become a character designer, right? And
Mm.
I invested a lot of time learning anatomy and learning proportions and learning animation on avatars, posing, and a lot of stuff around
Right.
characters. So
Yeah.
when I joined Decentraland 2 years ago, I saw like everybody was buying land, but they were not buying avatars. They were not buying characters, and I was like, why is this happening? Because in the game industry, what makes more revenue is the characters, the you know the skins of the
Right.
heroes, everything that has to be with your own representation of yourself is what moves most money in the game industry. And I thought like, why is nobody doing this? And eventually I figured out that nobody was doing it because it was so fucking difficult to wrap yourself around about the avatars and how they should be looking and how they can work in the blockchain ecosystem.
Mm.
So it took me a long time to kind of figure out how to do it because I actually bought the domain of cryptoavatars.io back in 2019
Mm.
and we released it last year on October.
Oh
So
wow.
it really took me like a year and a half to kind of figure out how to finally do it and finally press on
That's
it.
super awesome.
The thing is, back in the day, we used to do avatar commissions in the VR chat community.
Mm.
Uh, it was not very profitable because you have to hit on the spot of the people who is willing to pay off, and we didn't hit that. We didn't manage to find those people, but we did manage to learn a lot about the avatar community, the avatar scene, how people kind of create avatars and why they do it, and we decided to create 100 avatars in 100 days
Oh wow.
back in 2018. Yeah, and yeah, it was a challenge. One character a day for 100 days.
Wow.
And then we released them on VRChat. And once we were uploading to VRChat, the VRChat people came to us like, "Hey, these avatars are really cool because they are not anime and they are not furry and they're not sexual stuff. So if you go to VRChat, you are high chances you will find our world or our avatars all around the place because people they are open source and people use it all the time around all the places, right?" I decided to create crypto avatars to kind of create to mix the both things, mix avatars and mix crypto art together into one thing. Because I was talking with the people in the crypto art scene and the crypto art platforms, and they were like, "Oh, so you want to sell 3D models?" And I was like, "No, I want to sell avatars." And they didn't understand the concept of a 3D avatar because they didn't because an avatar and a 3D model, it may be the same thing, but it's not the same thing for the final user. We decided to just do it ourselves.
Yeah.
So during the quarantine, we managed to produce and finish our own mobile game because that was kind of the thing we wanted to do at the time, and we figured out that that was not for us. That we needed to swipe or focus into the metaverse and the blockchain as a whole.
Right.
Because everybody was doing games, right? A lot of people is doing games already, and I just don't want to compete with them. I want to do something more creative and something more unique. So that's why we decided to create crypto avatars instead of focusing on creating games for mobile. Let's focus our budget into creating crypto avatars. And yeah, I contact a few avatar designers around VR chat, told them about the project, and they were looking to kind of test it out also. They also created avatars. So for crypto avatars, it's a place to buy, sell, and avatars basically for other people. The thing is they are interoperable. They work on VR chat, they work on Summit Space, and they will be working on Decentraland eventually too. We use, in the studio, I mean, you can use any 3D software you want, but in the studio we use Maya and ZBrush and System Painter to create all the avatars.
Also, did you know that the Kraken building was going to be built here before you got the land? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we're right now in a district called Crypto Valley East. Mm-hmm. So around here, there are going to be a lot of companies, buildings pretty much soon. I can see that you're a new guy in the Central, so feel free to ask any questions. I guess the Central is getting a lot of attention lately, thanks to, Gary Vee and Mark Cuban and all these famous people talking about NFTs, and that's really good for us, I think. The Kraken building was signed by Decentraland arts manager. He's a really cool guy. His name is Martin Sibuya, and he's from Argentina.
Oh wow, yeah, that's really cool. I really like octopus kind of squid thing going on with it.
I mean, they're called Kraken, right?
Right. Is it an octopus or a squid, or is it a both?
It's a Kraken. Yeah, it's the lead artist in the Decentraland.
What's the name of it?
He's called Martin Sibuya. Let me check. I can give you his Twitter account.
I don't know.
He actually has been inspired by our own work, because back in the day, 6 years ago, we created a game called Morphight, which was kind of a No Man's Sky for mobile, and it was super low poly art style, and Decentraland is low poly, and he was very inspired by our work, which is kind of funny that at the end of the day we kind of work in the same thing together.
Yeah.
I mean, the building is really cool. They created. There was an event here, like a concert in it, a few months ago on the release.
Recording work.
I think the Decentraland is benefited with not having mainstream here right now, because there is not much content. I mean, there is content, but most of the places is empty, right? And if mainstream people comes here and wants to spend a lot of time in it, they are going to get pissed off because there's not much stuff to do here anymore yet, right? So I think we are still having that advantage of not having everybody eyes on the project. so we can build more and more and more content inside it. And so once people is starting to pay more and more attention into the Decentraland, we can provide all the content and all the things they want to do to spend more and more time into the Decentraland.
Yeah, totally. Man. So I need to ask, what does look like your normal day? I mean, you get up, turn on your computer, you go out. You're always here.
I'm not always here, definitely not.
Because I am
Uh,
always here.
so, what is my normal day? So, what I usually do is wake up, depending on the day, because some days I have to meet people from Australia, and then I wake up very early. But I usually wake up, go to the bathroom, dress myself, drink a couple of water, and then go to the office. And then I spend there 12 hours of my day, probably even more sometimes. And then I just go back home, and that's it. Every day we have like uh, a meeting to catch up with everything. Like, what did you do yesterday? What are you going to do today? Do you have any problems or any issues that we can help you with? And kind of catch up with everybody, and then the fun begins. I start chatting with a lot of people on Discord, with a lot of people in Twitter, and meeting people, checking out projects, how they're doing, and pretty much that's it. And then I have to go home and go to sleep and repeat. It's a bit demanding sometimes, like too demanding. But yeah, I mean, sometimes it's. We were speaking about this early today. Like the time is weird because we feel that the time is slipping through our hands very quickly, but at the same time, there are so many fucking things going on at the same time that we cannot catch up with everything. Like every week feels like a month, but at the same time, every week feels like a couple of days. It's pretty annoying. I think we cannot sustain this kind of lifestyle for a long time. Probably not. And I'm looking for solutions to kind of get out of this kind of lifestyle because it's too demanding in this. I mean, there's nothing else to do here anymore. With all this pandemic stuff, there's not much stuff to do. So I'm glad to be investing our time into work now. So when everything is back up again, if ever is coming back up again, we can kind of relax and enjoy our life to the fullest with all the funding and all the money we made by working on stuff all the time. Yeah, it's totally normal. I mean, Decentraland is probably the hardest platform to start with because it's difficult. I mean, you need to know a lot of skills. You need to know a little bit of programming. You need to know a little bit about 3D art, 3D modeling, animation, and a lot of stuff. That's why there's a team here, right? We have a developer, we have a couple of artists, a concept artists, and then we have a manager. Building some of these buildings really take time and really takes a team effort to make it. So that's why they are so expensive and why it takes some time. Because to become a pro, you need to invest a lot of time and really dig into it. Because the funny thing about this is that we are an independent company. We don't have any kind of funding yet. I will say yet because we are kind of looking for funding, but for other projects, we're looking for funding for crypto archers. But we managed to do everything ourselves without any investor or any bank lending us money. Everything was scratch and hard cash from clients and doing our works. And so I'm happy that we managed to get this far only with our own money, which which is kind of a pain in the ass in Spain, where opening a company in Spain is only for heroes and people with big balls.
So you've been making architecture, landscapes, buildings for the last couple of years in Decentraland. Out of all these projects that you have, and you can click on each one of these for people who are watching at home on YouTube right now. For all of these projects, what was the most fun to create? Which one would it be?
Okay, so probably it will be the transit system
Oh,
because it was a
cool.
great idea we had. So this one was probably one of the funnest thing we made because when we spoke about it with our clients, they were like, "Oh, damn, that's a fucking cool idea!" Having like a transit system for connecting people from the main roads to the interior lands. That will help people to improve the value of their own land and their content in it. And it took some time to kind of make it, but it was kind of the first thing big project we did in the Decentraland, and it worked really well. The building was under the Decentraland release already.
That's cool.
The main inspiration for this one is actually the train system that is in the World of Warcraft, connecting the two main cities of the
Yeah.
Alliance.
Okay. That's
Yeah, so we
so
took that idea.
cool.
Like, I mean, I'm a Horde. I'm not an Alliance guy, but I've been in that train for a long, many,
Yeah.
many times myself. Um,
Yeah.
and I thought it was a cool idea to kind of bring it here, but we couldn't do it underground because you cannot build underground in the central yet. So we thought
Oh.
about doing it in the sky, right?
Do you think that in the future people who own land will be able to build underground?
Yeah, probably yes. I think so.
Wow. That's inspiring. And what about, is there a height limit that you can build in
Yeah,
Decentraland?
yeah. Depending on your parcel, you have a land
Oh,
height
wow.
limit.
Do you
You
think,
have a triangle limit, a material limit, texture limit. It
oh,
all depends on the lands
wow.
of your site, the size of your land.
Hypothetically, let's just like imagine a scenario. It's 10 years in the future. Decentraland is used by almost every single person in the whole world on a daily basis. Virtually, we're quote unquote running out of space. Do you think that Decentraland would give an okay to add extra room to build on top of, or the current height for now?
Yeah, I mean, probably the central one will expand both on graphics and the limitations itself.
Wow.
When, yeah, I mean, the fact that it's working out and it looks like low poly is because it's on browser and they're looking for having as many people as possible in the game,
Hmm.
right? So that's why they have limitations. It's not that because they want to, it's because they are forced to do it.
Right.
Because if not, nobody will be able to join the central run because I will be just placing wherever the fuck I want without optimizing it and break everything.
Right.
So
In the future we might have more of a limit, and you might be able to develop and build more on the land that you already have, build up more or build underground more possibly.
yeah, but
So that
but
adds,
the thing is, if the central run works smooth and how it will work, it will be like a center of attention for something else, right?
mm,
So maybe you have your headquarters here, but you have a link to your own fucking world, which is huge, inside other platforms that maybe is free. I will say probably Tom Chaser. It was one of the games we made for Decentraland launch, and it's like a racing game where you race against a ghost and you have to catch it.
oh
And
wow.
it was very difficult to test it all the time because the iterations between testing and fixing it was very long. So once we see it in the game and working functionally, and it's a 5x5 project, and it was a huge project too. So once we finished, we were like, oh, finally, it's
Yeah.
working, and it was very rewarding also seeing people racing and playing all the time inside the game.
Yeah.
Probably the Mega Cube was the most successful one, but Tom Chasers being the first game we released in the Central probably is one of my favorites.
That's super cool. Um, Is there any like real world inspirations from any designs that you've made?
Yeah, those trees are actually, that place is called Momus Park. Is probably the biggest gallery in the Decentraland. It also released 1 year ago, and this one's the whole park is inspired by Van Gogh paintings.
Really?
Yeah, so so it is
Wow.
like a mixture of the paintings of Van Gogh done in low poly, and that's why they look so appealing. And people stare at them like they don't know why they liked it, but once they tell you that it's inspired by Van Gogh, they are like, oh wow, yeah, I get it,
I
I see
see
it, you
it.
know.
I do. Wow, that's so cool. That's so.
You know, the thing about Van Gogh was like, let's try to mix a painting into this low polyester art style, and then the artist decided to go with Van Gogh, and I think she did a really great job.
She did.
Uh,
Wow, that's. It really is amazing.
yeah, so for example, here the Dreamverse collection building.
Mm-hmm.
This is this is a building we use for placing our wearables to kind of sell our wearables, and both the collection and the place is made of inspired by Moebius, the comic artist.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah,
That's so
yeah,
cool.
Moebius has a very unique and appealing art style that I like, and we thought that it would be cool to kind of do something with it.
Yeah, I see this building over here, the spear, you know, it really reminds me of like Epcot in Disney World, if you've ever visited, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so.
At the end of the day, we're building a new reality, right? And we need to base our ideas and our creation on things we know and things we like.
Mm-hmm.
I I'm a believer that any idea that you had, probably another person around the world has it, and the only difference is that the person who is actually going forward to make the idea a reality, right?
Right.
So we cannot create new ideas out of the thin air. We need to combine ideas together to trick the viewer.
Well, yeah, I think that that sums up everything that I really have to do. I really appreciate your time, Sam. For real, thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem, man. I mean,
Thank you, Victor. I
yeah,
know.
man.
Thank you, Victor. Victor, Victor, Victor. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you, man. Thank you
Cool.
for
Have a good
coming
one.
by.
Thank you.